It was a Tuesday afternoon in August. Nothing unusual. People were driving home from work. Kids were finishing homework. Someone somewhere was heating up leftovers in the microwave. Then the lights went out. Not on one street, not in one neighborhood. 55 million people lost power across 8 US states and parts of Canada in less than 7 minutes. And you know what caused it? A software bug in a single control room in Ohio. That's it. One small, invisible failure. And the most powerful electrical grid in the world collapsed like a house of cards. Now here's what I need you to understand, because this is the part that keeps engineers up at night. That was 2003. And our grid today, it's older, it's more strained, and it's more connected than ever before. Which means one thing: the next time it happens, it won't take 7 minutes to spread. So before we go any further, pause for a second and ask yourself honestly, if the power went out right now and didn't come back for 5 days, what would your life actually look like? Most people can't answer that question. And that's not an insult, it's just the truth. We've built our entire lives around the assumption that electricity will always be there. The fridge, the water pump, the phone, the heat, all of it runs on a system that was designed in the 1960s and has been patched together ever since. Here's how a cascading blackout actually works, and why it's so terrifying. The grid operates on a razor-thin balance between supply and demand. Every second, power plants are adjusting their output to match exactly how much electricity people are using. It's a live, constant negotiation happening invisibly all the time. When one part of the grid fails, the load shifts to neighboring lines. Those lines get overloaded, they trip. The load shifts again. More lines trip. And within minutes, you have a domino effect that no human operator can stop fast enough, because it moves faster than people can react. It's called a cascading failure, and every major blackout in history has followed the same pattern. Texas 2021, Puerto Rico 2017, California wildfires, the Northeast in 2003. Different causes, same terrifying result. And here's something most people don't realize. After a large-scale grid failure, restoration doesn't take hours. It can take days, sometimes weeks. Because you can't just flip a switch. You have to rebuild the balance from scratch, one section at a time, carefully, or you risk triggering the collapse again. Now, I want to be straight with you here, because I think you deserve that. I'm not telling you this to scare you into buying something. I'm telling you this because I went down this rabbit hole myself. And the more I learned, the more I realized that most of what we've been told about energy security is either outdated or designed for people with a lot of money and a lot of land. But recently I came across something that actually made sense for regular people. It's called the energy revolution system. And look, I'll be honest, I was skeptical at first, but the approach is different. It's not about going completely off-grid or spending tens of thousands on solar panels. It's about creating a small, independent layer of power for your home that keeps the essentials running when the grid goes down. I'll leave the link in the comments if you're curious. No pressure, just worth a look. Back to the grid. The reason small failures trigger massive blackouts comes down to something called interconnection. Modern grids are designed to share power across enormous distances. That sharing is what makes the system efficient, but it's also what makes it fragile. Think of it like a highway system. On a normal day, traffic flows, but if one major road closes, every car reroutes. Now 2 roads are congested, then 3. Then the whole city is gridlocked. And nobody planned for it because it started with a single fender bender nobody noticed. Electrical grids work the same way, and unlike traffic, you can't just wait it out sitting in your car. The other factor, and this one's growing fast, is cyber vulnerability. The systems that manage our power grid are increasingly digital and increasingly targeted. In 2015, hackers took down part of Ukraine's power grid remotely. In 2021, attackers tried to poison a water treatment facility in Florida through its control system. These aren't theories. These are documented events. The grid was not designed with modern cyber threats in mind. And retrofitting security onto a system this old and this complex is, let's just say, it's not going well. So what can you actually do about this? The first thing, and this costs nothing, is awareness. Understanding how the grid works, what its real vulnerabilities are, and what a realistic outage scenario looks like in your area. Most people are operating on a mental model from 30 years ago. Updating that model alone changes how you make decisions. The second thing is reducing your single point of failure. Right now, if the grid goes down, everything stops. Your goal doesn't have to be full independence. That's unrealistic for most people. But creating even a small buffer, a way to keep lights on, food cold, and a phone charged for 72 hours. That changes everything about how you experience an outage. The third thing, and this is the honest one, is to stop waiting for someone else to solve this for you. Utility companies are doing what they can. The government has plans on paper, but in the first 72 hours of a major grid failure, you are on your own. That's not pessimism. That's just how emergency response works at scale. If any of this resonated with you, if you're sitting here thinking, okay, I actually need to look at this more seriously, I'd encourage you to check out the link I left in the comments. The Energy Revolution system breaks down a practical, affordable approach to home energy independence that doesn't require you to be an engineer or spend a fortune. It might be exactly what you're looking for, or it might not be your thing. But given everything we just talked about, it's probably worth 2 minutes of your time to find out. The 2003 blackout lasted about 2 days for most people, 55 million people. 2 days without power. And it was caused by a bug in a software system that nobody was monitoring closely enough. The grid has gotten more complex since then. More points of failure, more attack surfaces, more demand on aging infrastructure. The question was never if this happens again. The question is what you'll be ready to do when it does. Think about that.